In our unit about plants, we talked a lot about different environments like the wetlands, the forests, the deserts, the fields, and we're going to introduce some new habitats, some new environments like the freshwater environment, the ocean, polar and Arctic mountain regions, and grassland regions as we look at some of the pictures about and that's in Seymour Simon's Animal ABCs. Now, this is a different kind of a genre for us because this is a photo essay. And in a photo essay, photographs and words are placed together on the page. The photographs try to give us a picture of what the words are trying to create. So the picture is just as important as the words in a photo essay for sure. And a photo essay gives pictures and words about real things. So these are actual pictures, not drawings or paintings. They're actual photographs. The essential question that I want you to think about is, how are animals different? And you are going to see a lot of different kinds of animals in this photo essay. We're going to be using the comprehension strategy, predicting and confirming predictions. So when we are predicting and confirming, it helps us better understand what we're reading because we're kind of anticipating what's going to happen next. And when we make those predictions, we're not just giving a wild guess, but we use what we know from our own experiences and from what we know from other texts or the text that we're reading. And then we check to see if our prediction is confirmed. We're also going to be using asking and answering questions because remember, that helps us think about what we're reading and understand it better. So let's start reading Seymour Simon's Animal ABCs. A is for alligator. A baby alligator hatches from an egg. B is for bear. A polar bear cub stays close to its mother. Polar bears live in the Arctic, where it is very cold. All right, so as I'm reading this page, I do have a question, and so I'm going to ask a question here. Where is the Arctic? I can look up where the Arctic is in the dictionary, and when I do, I see that it's the area around the North Pole or at the top of the globe. And now I know where polar bears live. C is for clownfish. A stinging sea anemone is home for a clownfish and her babies. D is for deer. Okay, this might be a good place to make a prediction. So far, each page has had an uppercase and a lowercase letter at the top of the page. And then the next thing that happens is it tells that what animal starts with that letter. And I'm going to predict that this is going to be the pattern through the whole book because we're already at D and that pattern keeps continuing. So we'll see. D is for deer. A baby deer or fawn will lose its white spots when it grows up. E is for elephant. Elephants are the largest land animals in the world. They travel in groups called parades. F is for ferret. Ferret kids love to play. Would you like to play with a ferret? Now it looks like my prediction might be right. The pattern is continuing on every single page where you have an uppercase letter and a lowercase letter and then an animal that starts with that letter. G is for giraffe. A newborn giraffe is 6 feet tall, as big as a grown-up person. H is for horse. A foal runs alongside the mother horse on the day it is born. How old were you before you could run? I is for iguana. Iguanas use their claws for climbing trees where they rest and eat leaves. J is for joey. A joey stays inside the mother's pouch for most of its first year. All right. Now this might be a good place to stop and make another prediction. I predict, now I'm just thinking way ahead. I'm going to think about predicting the letter O. I'm going to predict that O will be for octopus. Can you predict a letter of the alphabet and what animal it might be? Think about a letter that we haven't talked about and predict what you think they will show for that letter. K is for kiwi bird. A kiwi bird does not fly, but it does have a wonderful sense of smell. L is for lion. A lioness carries her cub by the loose skin on the top of its neck. N is for monkey. A baby monkey rides on its mother's back as she jumps from tree to tree. N is for narwhal. A male narwhal has one long twisted tooth. Some people say that the legend of the unicorn began with a narwhal tooth. So that is actually a tooth. And this is a good time to stop and ask some questions here because this is an animal we don't see very often. Now, it looks like this animal is living in a cold region, like the Arctic, like the polar bears do. And so, I also have a question about this word male, and maybe it's going to be one of our vocabulary words, but I have to think about what does male mean? So I can look it up someplace. I could look it up in the dictionary, and if I did, it would tell me that male means a boy. It means boy. And there's another part here that I kind of have a question about where it says it has one long twisted tooth. One long twisted tooth. And to help me figure out what it's talking about, the picture explains that better than the words do, right? I think it's easier to understand what they're talking about by looking at the picture. O is for otter. A mother otter swims with her pup riding on her belly. P is, oh, I have to stop here because I made a prediction. I made a prediction that I thought O was going to be for octopus, and I was wrong. My prediction was not confirmed. They decided O was going to be for otter. P is for penguin. An emperor penguin father holds his baby on his feet to protect it from the cold snow. Q is for quail. The quail and her baby sleep during the day. They come out to hunt for food at night. I had never heard of a quail before. So I really wanted to stop right here to ask some questions like, what is a quail? What does it look like? And I can look at that picture and it really helps me. Those are kind of cool. I like his spots. R is for rabbit. A rabbit mother may have as many as 10 babies called kits in one litter. S is for seahorse. The father seahorse carries hundreds of the mother's eggs in his pouch. Once they hatch, the babies swim away. T is for tiger. Tigers are endangered species. We need to make sure that there are safe places for tigers to live. Now, when I stop and I think about where tigers live, I'm not really sure. So I have to look that up. And it does say that we'll have to look up where tigers live. And it does say that they could live in the rainforest or grassland areas. We're going to go ahead and look at this word endangered for a second too, because that's a word that we may not know. Tigers are endangered species. That means there are not very many of them left. So when you come across a word that you don't know, it's important to ask the questions so that you understand what you're reading. U is for umbrella bird. The umbrella bird's call sounds like a big drum and echoes loudly through the rainforest. Oh, it lives in the rainforest. V is for vervet. A vervet monkey uses its hands, feet, and tail to grab onto branches as it swings through the trees. W is for wolf. If a wolf cub can't see its mother, it howls to answer her call. X is for X-ray fish. X-ray fish swim alongside each other in an aquarium. All right, I'm going to stop here and I'm going to make another prediction before I turn this page. X, then the next letter is going to be Y. The next one is going to be Y. And I think about our story card for our letter Y, and the only animal that I can think of that begins with the letter Y is yak. So what do you think? Do you think yak will be for letter Y? That's my prediction. Y is for yak. I was right. I can confirm that prediction. The Chinese word for yak means hairy cow. Can you guess why? Take a look at our friend the yak there. Z is for zebra. And now that we're at the end of the alphabet, I can also confirm another prediction. Through this entire story, through this entire photo essay, the same pattern has held true. There's a capital letter, a lowercase letter, and then an animal that starts with that letter. Z is for zebra. All zebras may look alike to you, but each one has a pattern of stripes as different as a fingerprint. All right, we have to go back because we have to look at some vocabulary words. So I'm going to scoot back through. Let's see here. There it is. Our first word that I wanted to talk about is pouch. A joey stays inside the mother's pouch for most of its first year. Now, what is a joey? It's a baby kangaroo, right? A baby kangaroo. So instead of saying K is for kangaroo, he said J is for joey, which is a baby kangaroo. Pouch.
Pouch. A pocket of skin on some animals. Kangaroos have a pouch. Kangaroo babies have some. Pouch.
All right, so a pouch is a pocket of skin on some animals. A pocket of skin on some animals is a pouch. All right, looking for our next word. There it is. A kiwi bird does not fly, but it does have a wonderful sense of smell. So this is not a flying bird, but he has a wonderful sense.
Sense. The ability of an animal or person to know about what is around it. I can sense that rain is coming. I smell it in the air. I see the dark clouds.
All right, so it's the ability of an animal or a person to know what's around it. It has a good sense of smell. And the next word is right on the very next page, and it's the word loose. And a lioness carries her cub by the loose skin on top of its neck. Now, the lioness is the mom, is the female, is a lioness, and she doesn't have all that hair around her like the daddy lion would, who has the mane. This is the lioness, and she carries her cub by the loose skin on the top of its neck.
Loose, not tight. These clothes are too loose on me. They're too big. Loose.
All right, so it means not tight. So that skin is nice and loose to give room for the mom to be able to carry her baby around. Now the next one we kind of already talked about, male.
Male. Able to become a father and father young. My brother and father are both male.
So male, it's a boy. That's what it means. It means able to become a father. So that would be a boy. And those are the vocabulary words we're going to talk about today. We'll talk about the story again tomorrow, and there'll be some more vocabulary words. I will definitely include some discussion starters because there is a lot to talk about with your big person today in our story that we read.